turn that on.
So are they not coming?
They can't make it. No.
That's why I don't-
We had originally talked about it, and they forgot that, so they didn't plan on being here today, and I think they couldn't get through. I don't know if it's childcare or photography changed.
You and Spencer are dressed like sort of, you know that?
Yeah, we talk in the morning.
As Spencer goes under the table.
So I mentioned this last week. I'm not going to mention it every week, but just in case you missed it, our Christmas party is booked for December 19th. Mark your calendar. Same place as last year. Same caterer as last year. So it should be a lot of fun.
Different setup than last year.
Different setup than last year.
Is it still going to be at Valley Pike though?
Yeah, at Valley Pike, but they've got a plan to do the food tables in a different way so that we'll get through the lines quicker.
If I'm not here, can I come back for it?
Of course.
It's expected.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right. Have any of you reserved a spot on the cruise? You have, okay. All right.
That's it.
So we all got an email from Ed saying that it's getting towards that time where if you want to go, you should put a deposit down. It's refundable up to a certain point. Do you know when? Either of you guys?
It's like October.
October or something.
Okay. So those are the dates.
Are you going, Carl?
I'm not going.
Spencer, are you going?
My wife won't get on a cruise ship.
She won't go? You'd go without
She
her.
won't get on a boat. Yeah, that's like right in the middle of ski season.
Oh, that's true.
I just couldn't do it. But it looks like here's the route you'll be taking, bouncing through the Caribbean. Sounds like a great
I know.
trip. And I don't do cruises because Jenny doesn't have an interest, but it seems like the pricing is pretty decent. So if you have an interest,
If you look at the brochure, the prices in there, it's on sale yet this month, or this week. The end of
And then
this
they go
week,
up.
The prices are gonna go back up.
okay, that's probably why you
And
kind of
so,
said
and
that.
that always pulls in the best price for your cabin.
Okay. So act now if you're
It sounded
interested.
like Keith was going to go. Did Keith and,
I don't know if they've reserved, but I think they're
what's her, Tam?
Tammy. I think they both want to go.
Anybody from the Harrisonburg office say they were going?
I don't know if anybody's reserved. Several hands went up when I asked who was interested. So Climb May meetings, we're starting. Everybody got an email from Spencer yesterday. Because of that, our room is half empty because a lot of people, I think, elected to stay home in their pajamas and watch the meeting. So all of our meetings from this point forward, whether they're team meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, tools camps, lunch and learns, not all lunch and learns, but if there's something educational about it, we're going to try to do them through YouTube streaming. So right now this meeting is streaming live, the video that's on the screen and the audio. And is anybody watching?
Oh,
Becky is.
Becky?
June, be careful what you
I
say.
know, I won't say
Right.
bad words.
Right. So here's a great example. Becky had to meet somebody out at a house this morning. She couldn't make the meeting, but really wanted to hear what was being said, so she's listening in.
As she's driving back to the office.
Right.
She'll be here soon.
So what do we do?
Okay,
We go
good.
to YouTube?
So you got a link from Spencer.
Yeah, I didn't raise that email.
So the link is a mile long. The name of the channel is not Climb May Meetings because we don't want anybody to search for it or accidentally stumble on it.
It's just randomly generated. It looks like
Random
it's
letters, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you use that link and then either bookmark it or you can subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you can download the YouTube app, and then on your phone, anytime any of us are having a meeting and going live, you'll get a little notification. And you can listen in if you want to. You can always go back to that channel and watch all the old meetings or anything you missed.
Can't you like do
Pretty
that
simple.
like on a privacy setting and
So the
have
problem-
people have to join?
Yeah, the problem is when you do an unlisted stream, it creates a brand new link every single time.
Oh.
So one, we'd have to send out the email to everyone, and it's not generated until 5 minutes before the meeting starts when we're actually right here. And then afterwards, the recording is not visible for people to go back and look at afterwards. because each one is unique and individualized, and so that's not really any better than the old way we were doing it with GoToMeeting.
So this is technically public. Anybody could, in theory, stumble on it. So that's why we named it a random set of letters and numbers like a password. And
Well, you can make it private only to whoever has that link.
We can, but that's the problem, you can't make an entire channel private. You can make each individual thing private,
Yeah.
but then they're all different.
so this should work as long as nobody shares the link. Because nobody will randomly search for what we've named this thing. Good morning. Yeah, and the app is the really cool thing. So, but the value of these meetings is everybody getting together. So don't use this as a substitute for being here. Use it on those occasions when you can't be here for one reason or another and you're interested in the topics that we're talking about. Okay, so on to photography. Ashley and Ryan planned to be here but couldn't make it yesterday. They gave a nice presentation in Harrisonburg, which you can watch on our YouTube channel, talking about the new system. So they kind of threw Melissa into the fire and set her up as an agent so she can schedule her next booking that way. And then she is generously offered to show us how to do that.
I've not done it yet, so we're gonna do it together.
Yeah. So the basics of this new system are you want to say a few things first?
Yeah, sure. This is obviously another change in the list of many changes to photography that have happened in the last little while, but this system, every change about it, in my opinion, is positive. The biggest changes that are functionally different are that you will now be able to choose your photographer every time you submit a request within the confines of their availability, but you'll get to choose who you want out of who's available. You won't have to pick which of 4 different location categories you go into. You just go to one place, type in the address, and their software will automatically know where that is and who's available on what days for that place. You just go in, type the address, and it takes you right into the proper sections. It gives you the ability through this software, which is either a website or an app on your phone. I recommend you use both. The app is really good. You can communicate with your photographer directly through the app so that they can keep notes about what you've discussed and have a record of everything right along with all the other information about the shoot. It also, you'll have an account that you'll sign into with an email address and password, and Ashley will be sending an email to everybody at some point when they're ready to switch over. She's only set up Melissa so far. But because you have an account to log into, it'll save your history, and you'll be able to see a list of all your past shoots plotted on a map, all your current listings plotted on a map. I don't think there's anybody here right now on a team, but in Harrisonburg, but it's beneficial for the teams because they're grouped together, so they can see all of the listings for their entire team plotted on the map, and then the photographers are going where. So there's just a lot more that the software itself can do without making it any harder on you.
Mm-hmm.
In practice, you still just click one link or open one app, and you type in the address and submit all the same information you used to. It just gives you more for doing the same amount of work.
The app is a huge part of this, I think, and especially with communication and communicating directly with your photographer or with Ashley, but not needing to catch each other on the phone. If you put a note on the file for that shoot, the photographer gets a little ding notification on their phone. If they type in something or a question or a note on that file, you would get a notification. So hopefully the communication will be a lot easier and a lot more effective. So
May I ask a question
Yeah.
about that? On the last program that they used, could figure out when the sun,
Mhm.
where the sun was going to be in relation to the location of the property. Will this do the same thing?
this will be the same thing in that when you go to their calendar to book, The only thing you're gonna see open are the morning hours. Same way that everything used to get booked as 10 in the morning, okay? Then they will use a combination of both SunCalc, when's the best time to get the picture of the front of the house, and what's the route of the photographer that day to pinpoint the time. The change is they will now let you know 36 hours ahead of time, so a day and a half instead of the evening before. So same way to book it on the front end with you're just picking the date, you're not locking in the time yet, but a day and a half before they're there, they will let you know what the timing's gonna be.
Is it just gonna be on Tuesdays and Thursdays for us again?
Yes. However, this system is smart enough to know that if they've got a photographer on Wednesday in Grottoes and you ask for something in Waynesboro, they're going to say, hey, that guy's available on that day. Yeah. So it's kind of the best of all worlds.
So they're guaranteeing availability in this area at least on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then if anything else lines up, the system will tell you.
Or if you want to pay an extra $100 to get them to come down another day.
Yeah, they still have the expedite fee if you need to do that. So let's try to do yours, and I will try to remember what Ashley said as she went through it yesterday.
I know with the app, you want to allow alerts if you want to get the notices. So if you say don't let alerts, then it won't let you know if the photographer's messaged you or not. So just keep that in mind.
So Ashley and Ryan are putting together a spreadsheet of all our names and email addresses. They're going to send it to these guys, and they'll just dump it into their database. That's when everybody will get kind of the welcome email. Your account's been set up, and you can sign in. You can go ahead and download the app now. You just can't use
And
it
it's
until
called
you get that
U-Book?
login stuff.
What's
U-Booker. Letter U, book, letter R.
The app icon is orange with white letters.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well go ahead and try to get it out. Make sure you can.
It's orange with white letters?
Yeah.
So we go to create booking.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop right
Mhm.
there. So this is the way all of the bookings will look, and these are the simple series of questions that you go through. First thing is and as you go through this, the system is kind of figuring who's available and when they're available, depending on what you're asking for. It's pretty interesting. So you put in the address, and you can see it has a smart fill. I think it's all based on Google Maps. It's a Google map that's behind this. Service type, and you can choose, can you pull that menu down so we can see it?
Just
Oh,
photography.
it's photography. Oh, okay.
And then it's
there's
select
another-
a,
Right. Okay.
so we've got Swartz. All right. Select a service.
So this is your menu of, just like before, same choices.
Is that on square?
This is
Yeah.
square footage.
Video or drone on there?
It should be,
Yeah, that's down here.
but it's
extra
gonna be,
services.
yeah. All right, so these are my
So
choices.
the system now, based on the address, is
Has-
giving you choices of photographer.
So what's the first guy's name?
Brian Robbins or Jason.
That's the Brian's name.
Can you pull that menu down again?
The names,
Yeah.
I like Jason.
I thought there was a way to override that.
to type, did she say to put it in comments if you wanted to?
Yeah,
I think-
like if you really, really, really want Ryan,
Like
if
if
he's
it's
not
a
listed,
special-
or you really,
yeah.
really, really want Jason, and for some reason he's not listed, you can put that in the comments and they'll try to work the schedule.
And Ryan's not a drone photographer, so you just have to specify, like Carl said, because the system knows who the drone photographers are and who aren't drone photographers. So they're not gonna send somebody who isn't qualified for your listing out to the house. So that's
Mhm.
Jason and Brian are both drone photographers, and that's why both of them popped
And I
up.
think it would work the same in reverse, so if you chose Ryan here, it would not allow you to choose drone as an option here. So you'd have to work that
Gotcha.
out.
All right, so this is where you
Yeah,
click
so
on your,
access arrangements, really, really important for them. They've asked that we please don't use pickup keys at the office whenever possible. And then once you're done, extra services. I don't know if maybe that's not
No,
entirely
it's
built
not.
out yet. The
No,
whole-
it's not.
The whole list will be there when it goes live,
all right,
which is next Tuesday.
then next
So
up.
the next step. That's the calendar.
All right, so,
Now, if they're gonna be determining when the shadows are gonna be on the front of the house or not, why is it allowing you to choose a time?
Yeah.
The only time it's gonna
Yeah.
list as available is 10 a.m.
Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday,
And
Thursday.
the understanding is that, and that's just because the way the software is coded. They said yesterday that they're talking with the developers of this program to take off that 10 a.m. tag and let you just pick a day. But for now, it has to have a time code, so they just chose 10 a.m. Asking you all to understand that that means that they're gonna pick the best time.
Mm-hmm.
But that has a whole bunch of times, like 4.
Yeah,
It
this
does, it
one-
looks like it's open for the day, but I think they're gonna rearrange, I mean,
Yeah, they're still working on this. But I think from this, it looks like they're still set up on the Tuesday, Thursday only through Tuesday's book, so.
I think it's because it's a holiday. It's a Monday, thank you.
So, yeah, you could.
All right, let's see, so
Put it there.
So when are you doing it, Melissa? Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
And then.
Well, I don't see where else. Oh,
Submit
submit
booking.
booking. One thing I didn't
So
look.
it's got the little map up there, and they asked if you would kind of eyeball that and make sure, just for reasonableness, because sometimes we click on the wrong address or forget one word. There's a Bluestone Hills Road in Harrisonburg, and often, well, not often, but it's happened that somebody will type in Bluestone Road instead of Bluestone Hill, so it sends them to JMU campus. Sometimes on our phones and our computers, anything that's tied to Google Maps defaults to the address where you are. So they've had several bookings, like for our office, because that's where the person was when they booked it. So just double check the map and make sure that looks reasonable.
And make sure you knew, one of the things that they really emphasized yesterday was the notes section. So
Use it for.
if Melissa would have a client that they have big dogs, that the client needs to get them out of the house, or if there's a cat that you don't want to make sure that you leave outside, or maybe the homeowner has something super
coffee.
special in the house that you need to be careful of, all those sorts of things should go in the notes section.
And you get this nice little summary. We didn't see this yesterday because she didn't really book an appointment. But that's pretty cool to double check.
The other thing too is price. So you will know what your out-of-pocket price is as a real estate agent when you go through the transaction process. So those prices don't add up and surprise you.
So if you noticed on the drone photography button, it said $65. So when they have all their options there, they'll all say that the photography service itself is going to read as $0 because there is no cost to you. Synergy pays for that, but then the add-ons, you'll know what you're getting. We've had a few cases of people who were unpleasantly surprised by their bill.
Okay,
Okay.
good. There was a tab though. Let's just see what happens here. What were advanced options? I didn't go to that.
That's the note.
The notes
Yeah,
section.
that's
Okay, I
good.
never
That's
went to
all.
that because I didn't have
So
to.
purchase order number we'll never have.
Mm-mm.
Notes. Oh yeah, they did talk about this. Yesterday they had public and private notes. Maybe they just took that out because we couldn't really think of a use
What
for
does that
private.
note section say?
So this note just says, enter any public notes for this job. These notes will be visible to both you and your supplier. So the agent and the photographer will see that. Other people to identify, They mentioned put your client email in there. I don't think we would ever want to do that and have our clients copied on communication between us and the photographer. If there's another agent, if it's a team, if it's a mentor-mentee or co-listing or something like that where somebody else needs to be in the loop with the photography, you can put their email address in there.
Any email you put there will get all the same email notifications that you do about this booking and any changes to it.
So when you're on your first tab, that's what I was waiting for earlier. When you go to save and go to next, it doesn't take you to the next tab. It takes you to your,
Right.
so
To the next
make
screen.
sure if you
If
have
you have
advanced,
notes, then
yeah,
go
you
over
need
to
to click it yourself.
Any other questions? About this? This goes live
You're
on
fine, just have my
Tuesday.
coffee.
So by then you will have gotten your email with your sign-on information. And you can set up your account, download the app, and be ready to go. Okay. No questions?
It's pretty easy.
There'll be questions once people start using it.
Yeah, but I mean, she just did one for real, and it was
Yeah.
pretty easy. Yeah.
As long as we get our notice, the 36 hours ahead.
I think that's a
that'll
big,
be
so yeah, choosing your photographer is a big deal. And I think, and getting the notice a day and a half ahead of time will help things go a lot more smoothly.
So I noticed Ryan wasn't a choice. Is he not?
You have to put him in notes if you
Oh,
want him.
online.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah, it's great.
And that's something that they did mention yesterday. Amy already touched on it a little bit, but even though Ryan isn't a drone pilot, they mentioned that if upon request and for special circumstances, they don't mind sending more than one person to a listing, especially if it doesn't put too much of a kink in their schedule. They don't mind sending Ryan and a drone pilot. They can give an example where they had 3 people at the same property at the same time recently. The seller needed to see a show, so they really put on production for him.
And they're willing to do that for a subdivision or luxury listing or something, something that you're competing for, and you want to get the photography done ahead of time to show them or to impress them with this. They didn't exactly plan it that way, but the photographer, drone pilot, and videographer all showed up at the same time. And the client was just blown away. They thought they were in Hollywood all of a sudden.
I do that a lot for Jeremy Litwiller with big farm listings. So it's something that
Do you
has worked
try
very
to make it
successful
look
for him.
like a?
No, not for
production?
that,
Okay.
just making sure we have a actual picture of the property in the documentation, so that way it's not a picture from the MLS or another photographer's picture. That shows that he went through the effort
Yeah,
to
it's
coordinate
well
with
worth
the
it.
client, and he'd be willing to speak about this publicly, because he doesn't, I mean, he advocates completely for that level of customer service on those types of presentations.
Do they charge more to go to Charlottesville?
They do. I think $75. And there's been talk of maybe finding a photographer over there to be part of their collective, but right now they don't have one.
So would that just be anything over the mountain? Were they included?
I guess so.
Okay.
I guess
I
so.
don't think there's a fee
Not
for
really.
Lexington. If I'm remembering
It's
correctly, there's
$6
not a
for
fee out
Highland.
there,
Mhm.
unless you want it rushed.
Right. Other questions? Anything? All right. That was the whole meeting.
It took a lot longer yesterday when they were there.
Let's see.
We have a safety class coming up
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, let me pull up that email. She sent an email. I forgot to
Yeah, I think it's Friday.
blend it in there.
11 maybe. If you haven't been to one, it's worth going to.
Today's Wacky.
New agent training is coming up.
I already
in
registered.
October. Okay.
How many
Today's
times a
Wacky
year?
Inn.
Go ahead. Okay.
Oh,
Today's
Wacky Inn.
Wacky Inn
Lucky
is at 11 to 1 at Queen City Place. Any agents that have been in business 10 years or less. If you hadn't filled out the paper, you can still come. I have one there.
Where's Queen City, whatever? Where's that?
Queen City
the
Brewery.
wharf.
Oh,
Yeah, the wharf beside the bistro.
Oh,
It's-
yeah, okay.
It's over in the corner.
So
What
it's a
time?
cute room.
11 to 1.
So there's the email about the safety class.
Are you going to
Anybody's interested in that?
You did. She just said
Why
you
don't
can
you
go
just
with
go
us.
You can still come and fill it out when you get there. I'll have papers. Just come.
So are you going, Melissa, do you go?
Come on, I have papers for you.
All right, it's Cherry's new listing.
Or not.
It's just a simple link.
While you're finding that, if anyone still has questions about UBooker, you can ask me anything. I feel like I have a grasp on it, but you can also go to that link I sent you yesterday, the YouTube channel, and watch the meeting from Harrisonburg yesterday when Ashley and Ryan were there explaining it.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
And you may have already covered this, and if you did, I apologize. The link to that, it's an app on your phone, is it also a link on the, online?
So the link is the same either to the website. Well, let me rephrase. It's the link to the website, but your phone is smart enough to know that you have the YouTube app.
Okay.
So if you click any YouTube link ever, it just
Sorry,
automatically
I meant
opens
for
it.
the scheduler.
Oh, for the scheduler.
Yeah, okay, it's downloaded now. Okay.
It's downloading that, or you can
Access.
access it through the website like Melissa just did.
Okay.
Yeah, and once they get a new link for that, the link that you have now is gonna automatically forward to a UBooker, so the link's not gonna change. That's gonna stay consistent.
On the dashboard, if I click Schwartz Photography, I'm gonna end up there,
Yes.
Correct?
okay.
Not today, but by the time it goes live next
Okay.
Tuesday, Ashley
Okay,
will have
that's,
it.
that's everything.
One difference between the app and online, you can't upload documents through the app. So if you need to upload a plat or something to give them, if it's a big piece of land, you need to give them direction of where to go or where the boundaries are or anything, you have to do that uploading through a computer. That's the only difference. All right, Sherry, take it away.
Here's my new listing. I just released it last Thursday. I did an open house one Sunday and had a pretty good turnout. Two folks interested, but I had an offer, but we just couldn't get it worked out. But it's great. It's in great condition. It's very well maintained. The roof's been done. The HVAC's been done. They have a crawl space. It's conditioned where it'll zap mold that goes down there. If it's any kind of mold, it's like an infrared system that zaps. I've never heard of it, but I thought it was pretty cool. The floors, the floors are newer. All these things that are newer that I'm talking about were done in 2015. They had a Federal Pacific electric box. They upgraded that on Saturday. So this house is really nice and it's great for a first-time home buyer or somebody who wants to downsize. But it's 1,300 square feet, so it's super nice.
Where is Caraway Court? I can't think
It's at the end of Fir Street. You know, you go down
Fir,
Lake,
yeah.
Fir, and then it's like
Go down King, take a left on Fir.
Yeah, you can, and then straight all the way down to the end of Fir.
Okay.
So you can't miss it. It's right there. So.
Looks nice.
So quickly.
Well, I'm hoping so.
Yeah, that's point.
Yeah, I'm just trying.
Anybody know this property? It's Ed's.
Is it on land or is it a house?
5 bedrooms, 3 baths.
It must be a house.
Right there. Yeah.
Is that it, Dave?
Yeah.
Acres. 48.
Wow. Nice.
So let's see. Anybody shown it? No?
Mm-mm. That's hard to believe that little house is 5 bedrooms. What's that one?
Maybe some in the basement.
Well, it's got 2,800 square feet.
Yeah. It looks like it's been all updated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that a baseboard?
They're small rooms.
Zoom out a couple times on that map. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's another kitchen. So
So
it's
that's
got a
not
little
a-
apartment in the basement.
In-laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just redid it.
Neat as a pin. Okay, so it's, you're right. That wasn't electric. That's good. Water treatment. Nice. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Cool. Ooh, that looks a little rough. Hmm.
Thanks for showing some of the prettiest views.
So there we go. Let's see the map. So there, general direction.
So,
Yeah. Oh.
Closer.
Oh, I wonder where that is.
Okay, look familiar.
Yep.
So this
you
is
go
Tinkling
up-
Springs.
Yeah, go up past the cheese shop and turn right.
What's 651?
No, you make a left right before the cheese shop.
Oh.
That road that connects over to Old Michael Road.
Yeah, so I was coming
Depends
to
on
the
which way you're coming from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great location.
She's coming from where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great location.
Who else?
Have you all been to the donut shop at the cheese shop?
The donut shop at the cheese shop.
Galactic Donuts.
Galactic
Donuts.
Mm.
Is that what that is? Oh, my God, you can go in and you have a choice. So like, I took my granddaughter, she got the 4-star, so it was a donut with peanut sauce on top, sugar sauce or something, then pretzels and Butterfinger chips or
Good
something.
grief.
Oh my God.
They just have a whole thing of, they make donuts and they top them.
Okay.
So like Duck Donuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. They're really sweet on that. They're really sweet.
Well, so he was the chef at VMI.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And they're so nice in there. Oh my
Yeah.
God, they're so nice.
Anybody else have listings they want to brag about? Stuff coming up? Price changes?
I might on mine, but not just yet.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
You been what?
I said, ooh, I'm intrigued.
I've had nobody show up. There are 2 people show up. Your house?
You're not into me.
Mm,
Yeah. You gotta say it us.
Can't do it.
what she wants to hear.
I already packed up a bunch of stuff. And I rented a storage unit. Oh my gosh. I
Did you take your own advice?
What's that?
Did you take your own advice?
What's my own advice?
What you tell other people to do, like, get
Declutter.
ready, yeah.
I declutter. I mean, my gosh, I declutter. I had to
Pictures
go,
are beautiful,
Amy will
I
tell you, I had to go to the storage unit to get my Christmas decorations for the display.
Yeah.
Ed and I submitted a Klein May centerpiece for, I had to put on a Rotary dinner for the area. So it was promote your business is what it was
Mhm.
called. So we had asked people that had businesses to do a centerpiece, and they had to donate $100. So Ed and I did one for Klein May, and it was cute. I used my Christmas houses, and Amy made little tiny for sale signs, and I went and got a piece of plywood and had grass put on. It sort of looks like grass, it was moss, and I had little lights and the whole bit. We didn't win.
You didn't win? Oh.
The guy that won was Southwest or
South River Irrigation. His was cool.
Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he had a bucket, and then he had a pump in it, and then he had PVC pipes, and then he had flowers growing out of these PVC pipes.
Uh-huh.
And my
Uh-huh.
husband voted for him.
Oh, that's
But
great.
it was a way to raise money, so it was fun. And Amy, thank goodness for Amy.
I'm trying.
So I gave her the back of for sale signs and the little piece of wood.
Little tiny
Mhm.
So if you all need to do it in the future, it'd be cute.
Mhm. Anything else, Karen? Any association stuff or company stuff?
If
Charity
you haven't bought
stuff.
your tickets for the dinner theater, there's a few left, that's the 12th. We'll have a seminar coming up in September, end of September. And then our official unofficial is tomorrow night, Ian James, right down here. Please come, working on one with Melissa at her house for September, which will be families. And bring your milk cartons, your plastic jugs, or lemonade jugs, tea jugs, igloo for the Christmas parade. We're gonna light it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Save your milk jugs. And there's a box in here.
So you
You
have
probably
to
should rinse them out. at
court or.
Please.
Yeah, please rinse them out.
Please rinse them out.
least From now to December.
Yeah.
Well, no, so FYI, we will probably do that as an October official unofficial is design the float before
Okay.
it's freezing.
We'll
cold
just get it
outside.
done, yeah.
It will be done in pieces so we can store it and not under the shed at mom and dad's because it's not weathering well. So we'll reuse some of that hotwood. But yeah, and if you got ideas for the design, bring them.
So you're gonna do an igloo, what a cute idea.
And penguins and snowmen.
Oh my.
I know what you're thinking.
We have no law.
We could put Derek in the igloo dressed up as Santa.
Is Derek gonna be all off?
Apparently I'm Olaf. It's already been decided, guys. I believe
You know,
that.
so, do you want to build a snowman?
Oh,
It'll be, do you want to build a home?
oh, okay.
And we'll go with that kind of thing.
I'll do Olaf for that and dance around the streets and grab the kids and stuff.
There you go.
That'd be fun.
Don't crowd
And
the
we've got a
kids.
snow maker.
Don't grab the kids.
Grab the kids.
Yeah.
Come here.
Give me my arm back.
No.
Kitty Jackson candy.
Right. 50 years ago, you could have done that. Not now. People will be coming after you. Get your hand off.
So, yeah, snowmen, penguins, yeah, that kind of stuff you're saying. Let's do it.
Did you get the penguins somewhere already?
No.
I think we should dress the bulldogs up as penguins.
Oh my.
Let them waddle in the street.
All right. That's all we got. Thanks, everybody.
Are you ready for the